Hi, everyone. Wow, it's a morning. It is really nice outside, but that isn't the main reason I'm sitting outside today. Just more room placements inside the house, trying to figure that out. But it's very nice and cool this morning, and I'm under the little like tent thing. I've got a nice little citronella candle, so there's no bugs. And I brought my tea. We're gonna get started with this 30-day challenge. Oh, actually, today's 30-day challenge is one where you're actually going to start like really diving into you and like actually figuring out how to see the best in you so you can do your best. Today, oh, I'll pour it on the screen. There we go. Today, I just have a matcha green tea, but I also, it's actually a cocoa matcha. I poured a little bit of cocoa in it because I like cocoa matcha. And I've had one that was actually sent to me that was straight cocoa matcha, but I just added this cocoa to the Rise mushroom matcha. Yeah, it's really cozy. It's really cozy. I'm cozy. Yeah, it's like that. Mm. Uh, I'm glad I made two batches. Mm. I had a feeling. I was like, okay, you might want to make an extra, like two batches, because this looks like it's going to be real tasty. It is. Okay, now that I've had my beautiful moment, we're going to go ahead and move into day 5. We are on day 5 of the free Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge. And this is a challenge that's going to help you step into your power. It's a challenge that is going to help you hone in, help you focus, help you prioritize, and it's going to help you build habits because really the main point of this challenge is to start spending time with yourself and to do it intentionally so that you can actually focus on the relationship that you have with yourself. Like, what are you actually doing with yourself and what type of support are you giving yourself? Because you're only as great as you think you are. And if you don't think that you can do it, or you think that there are all these things keeping you away from what you need and what you want, then of course it's going to be that way. So we're going to dive more into that as the days go by, podcast and everything. Be sure to stay tuned for that once those go up. um, yes, they will be. I'll be diving a lot more into like actual details of things, especially because it's audio only. That's really what I love about the podcast. It's audio only, feels a bit more intimate, and I definitely share a bit, like I share more there. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Now, for day 5, our prompt, I will go ahead and share our prompt. Ooh, I've also got, while I share the screen to share our prompt, I've also got these scones that I made, and I forgot I had them. They were I froze them in the freezer because I didn't want to finish them all when I made them. And I put it in the oven this morning and it eats. Okay. We are on day 5, day 5, day 5. All right. If you weren't here before, day 1 was the pledge. Day 2, we started tracking it. Those are all the ones you can do kind of at the same time. on the same day. The rest you follow one day at a time. Day 3, we did our we listed some self-care activities. Day 4, we listed the different aspects of our life and how we prioritize them. Day 5, we are listing, so for this free 30-day get ready for change, this free 30-day get ready for change challenge, day 5, list 5 characteristics and skills you possess that have helped you get through anything. Like literally anything, any and everything. 5 characteristics or skills that you've exhibited or you've had to utilize to just get through situations, whether it be good, bad, or neutral. Just 5 characteristics and skills that are in you, and they are just things that happen. They are just things that are innate to you. You do these things. Okay, now that we've explained what day five's characteristics are. Um, I will go ahead and y'all can look at this is the same post that you would see on the Instagram or Facebook page if you follow at Pampered and Luxed on Instagram or Facebook. Turn on those bell notifications. You'll get the same 30-day challenge every single day. You don't have to watch the whole live and go through it. I just do the live so that everybody really gets the full grasp and understanding of how impactful each of these prompts is. So, yes, you can definitely feel free to just follow, hit the bell notification, and you'll still get every single day, day number 5, right here. You will get them more around like afternoon. That's kind of when they're scheduled for currently, instead of in the morning. So, just so you know, if you want to do it in the morning, you want to do it when you're trying to get yourself ready in the morning, you might want to delay a day so that you can either see it the next day, or you can just come on the lives and join us and actually interact, and we can do it together. Like I said yesterday, we're in this together. As long as I'm willing to share and I'm in alignment, I'll be here. And you're not alone. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. Perfect. So for day 5, when you heard that prompt, how did you feel? Because now we're going to start analyzing and answering kind of at the same time, because that's really that can be most impactful for some, and then other ways. For me, the most impactful way to analyze is to come back the next morning right before I do that current day. So like yesterday, day 4, I'm analyzing before I do day 5. That's how I process things best for me. But I do know that some individuals are like, okay, I want to analyze while I'm writing it so that I don't forget how I was even feeling at the time, because I don't even remember and it was 30 seconds ago. So if that's you, here's how you analyze while you're writing instead of after you're writing. So we just read that question. How do you feel? How were you feeling when you were reading it? Write that down and just go from there. So just write those down. And me right now, I'm going to go ahead and write a little bit of um some analysis as well, just to make sure. Oops, I did the wrong number on the top of this page. Okay. Oh no, the candle went out. That's why the bugs are biting my ankles. I was wondering. Ugh. Okay, one second, y'all, because I don't, no. Mm-mm. Okay, I'm gonna put it near my feet. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. I hope you were able to finish writing what you're feeling about this first prompt, and we're gonna continue. So now that you've written how you feel, if you haven't, continue. Just keep going. Um, then now you're gonna answer the prompt. You're not gonna start asking why yet. You're gonna answer the prompt. So as you're answering this prompt, you are definitely gonna feel some things. Like with this question, no matter who you are, you're gonna feel some things. Even if it's just like Oh, I mean, that's not really a skill, like, is it? But yes, it is. Yes, it is. And stop underestimating yourself, undervaluing yourself just because it's you. Like, if you saw this list of skills, if you saw your resume in life on someone else, I bet you'd be like, "Oh my god, that person does a lot. That person is really doing it." But because you are always in you, you also see your shortcomings and you see times where you feel like you've failed. And that's what the brain focuses on instead of the things that, you know, help you get out of that failure because you don't always stay where you are. There are always moments of highs and lows, but it's up to you to be able to function on that roller coaster, whether things are happening up or down in your life. And then it also, at a certain point, that those lows, you can make those lows higher. You don't have to be all the way down here when you're in your lows. You don't. There are ways to get that low to be here and your high to be here instead of your high to be here and your low to be here, or even your high here and your low here. We can raise the bar for how low you go. Okay. And I think that's also what this prompt does it well as well, because it helps you just understand that there are there are powers that you possess. You have power. That's really what this is. You have power and you possess it, and it is in your control, and you can change your life. So now that you're answering, if you're still answering, I'm going to go ahead and answer. And for this prompt, I'm just going to share one of mine, one or two, so that we can really dive deep into it. Sharing all five would be we would be here a long time just because of how deep I really want to help you guys understand how you're analyzing. Um, and also because we're going so deep, there's only certain aspects I'm willing to share with the whole lottie dolly world. So we're gonna find those real quick. And let's see. List five characteristics and skills I possess that have helped me through any and everything. Now, I'm not going to list them in any particular order. And definitely list five. You can't just list one or two or three and then be like, oh, that's it, I guess. No, list at least five. And I'm saying at least because it's very good to be able to see even more skills and characteristics you have that are able to help you. I wouldn't list more than 10. I don't think we need to do that right now because you're going to be analyzing these characteristics and how you feel about them and how you use them in life. All right. For me, I'm going to put that one of the main ones that I've really been digging into lately is the ability to bridge gaps of any kind in any space in any way. To bridge gaps. Okay. And I'm just going to stick with that. I'm not even going to go into all my other four. And let me just explain how you would analyze this. So, as I was reading the prompt, me personally, I felt uh, I have been pretty excited anytime I've been reading these prompts lately. Um, so I was excited reading the prompt, but also a little like, what is about to come out of me? Excited reading the prompt, also a little apprehensive. And this is what I mean when I say write your feelings. Like literally start naming these emotions. I say apprehensive because it wasn't scared, it wasn't terrified. I was a little not even precautious, apprehensive. I was apprehensive about it. And why? That's what we'll get into now. because I've already answered my prompt. So, why was I feeling excited and apprehensive? I was feeling excited and apprehensive simply because this challenge and doing it for 30 days, especially live for me, is a really big step into a direction that I've always wanted to be in. However, the apprehension comes in when my old versions of myself or versions of myself that haven't been as fruitful and happy in life, those versions rear their head and they're like, but can we really do this though? Can we really, like, do you really, like, can we really, well, what's gonna happen? I don't even know what's gonna happen. That's what the old self is saying. So it's also a little bit of warring for me there. Now, why? Again, why is my new self so excited for the future and my old self is clinging to the past? My old self is clinging to the past because it's familiar. It's familiar. It's because we're already still in a space where life is terrified. Why would I choose to be terrified in a different way if I already know what type of terror this is? So that's something my old self is also saying. It's fear. It's a lot of fear. Um, my new self is excited because she sees and she feels what's happening and what has happened and the effects of it. And she knows herself, she knows where she's going. And she's also excited because and she's a little like she's a little like kind of not cocky, but like what's the word? Um Slightly, she is a little patronizing, which is something I'd like to address with myself. She's being a little patronizing to her old self, as if to say, like, girl, you're saying all that now, but wait until we get there because this is like all gonna be, you're not even gonna exist anymore. So you don't really have a say. Like that's how she feels, my new self. Um, and I'm not talking about like my childhood, my inner child. I'm not talking about my inner child as my old self. I'm literally talking about how a year ago, me as Zaria was a very different version as me as Zaria today. And my inner child is someone who's all the way, she's in there. And she's just a hurt version of the last version of who I'm ever going to be. That's all my inner child is. The hurt version of the last version of who I'm ever going to be. So that's how I see it, and that's what I'm explaining here. When okay, the next why, because there is another why I believe that I need to get to and I wouldn't mind sharing with y'all. So, why is my inner self or no, why is my old self still in that fearful mode and trying to rear its head, even though my new self is like is more present or is actually making more of an appearance? Why, especially when they're being a little bit patronizing? So why is my old self still doing that? One, because I am being patronizing towards myself. And I do know that that's something that is a really big pet peeve of mine and other people, which lets me know that it's definitely a projection that I've been placing on other people, especially if I'm sitting here doing it to myself and there's no one else around who really knows anything that I'm doing. I've kept things quiet to myself recently just because, especially to the people around me, just because um I need to get used to not even not even hearing those opinions and things, um, because there was a time where those opinions that were more, um, unsupportive where I would hear them, I'd ignore them. But when you hear things over and over and over, especially from specific people in your life, it's gonna sink in. It just is, unless you take a step back away from those people, uh, and set up some sort of boundary, especially emotionally, or you decide to stop telling those, which is an emotional boundary, you stop telling those people things. But in that case, you have to evaluate whether or not, okay, should I stop telling these people things or should I stop being around these people? And that is your choice alone. It's up to you to decide, and it's up to you to figure out what factors indicate which answer for you. Okay, yeah, this bug candle is definitely working much better. Okay. So now that we've got that why out of it, why has my new self been so patronizing? What is that all about? Hmm. I think my new self has been a bit patronizing because that's what she thinks. And this is her inner child now. This is my inner child now. My inner child thinks that the people who are able to receive more, grow more, maintain more, sort of look down in pity. I think that's where that comes from. Because, and then I have to go to, okay, now that I'm at my inner child, once you find an answer that links to your inner child, you're not going to ask why. You're going to ask yourself, okay, when was the first time I ever felt this way or I ever was put in this situation? And now that I'm asking it, so I'll say, when was the first time I ever felt patronized or like somebody pitied me for my thoughts or my beliefs? And now I have to go back because I'm like, okay, I've never actually thought about that. I really do want to think about that. When was the first time I ever actually felt patronized and pitied for my beliefs? I definitely think I know what it was. And here's the point. Now, if you're willing to share your journey and you want to share your answers, feel free to do that. Also, feel free to know that if you are going to share your journey, then you can leave certain bits out because it's a little too personal. Just be like, yeah, and the rest is personal, babe. So that's the button I'm hitting now. The rest, my answer to that is a little personal. But now that we've hit that point, once you have that answer and you're like, okay, this was the first time I ever had that experience, you're going to look at that experience and you're going to reshape your perception of it. You're going to reshape how you feel and how you think about that thing to reframe your mindset because it's going to go deeper. It goes much deeper than you think, especially when it comes to feelings that you keep feeling all over again and then keep feeling like it gets even more intense every single time or that it's never going to end. Like these are the feelings you have to go back to. Okay, let's see. You've asked why, you've gotten to your inner child, and now that you're reframing that mind, and here's how you reframe that mindset. You're going to look at that situation. And instead of saying and reinforcing the thoughts that you had, you're going to come up with a different feeling, a different explanation to go with the behaviors and actions that occurred in that situation. So let's say that when you were younger, you remember that the first time you ever felt like um you didn't matter was when somebody came and at you in school and they let's say they used to steal your ice cream or something, used to steal your lunch or whatever. And that's the first time you ever felt that way. So what you're going to do is go back to that situation, and instead of being like, oh, that person stealing my food means that I'm not worthy of it. Instead of thinking that, you're going to go, okay, honestly, why would a child be stealing another child's food? Because they're hungry, or because they've been shown that you can take whatever you want and there are no consequences. So now that you have some different explanations for behavior, instead of blaming yourself, you realize that, you know what other people do has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. What I do has everything to do with me and nothing to do with these other people. That is not to say that we are individualistic in terms of like the human race. We are not. We are societal, and we are a societal culture. We have societal ways of living. We do need human connection. Like, people do not live in solitude and like not see any other living beings. Like, they at least see the squirrels, the birds, the something. We are creatures that need to see and be around other life. But that also means that when we're living, especially because of the empathy and language that we use, a lot of things get crisscrossed, a lot of things get confused, and a lot of things you start blaming things on yourself when you're a child. When you see something wrong, you're like, oh, it's my fault. Because as a child, the only thing you know is you. The only thing you know is you. And you're like, okay, if something's wrong, then it must be me because I'm the only thing I know. I'm the only thing I know and understand. And if you are sitting there thinking that it's you, your brain is going to find a reason that it's you, because our brains don't like mismatched facts. It's going to try and figure out how to connect something. It makes connections. And that's really all trauma and limiting beliefs. It's these crisscrossed connections that have happened because we didn't have a full understanding of what was going on, and we were left to our own devices to figure it out. So now that you know that, and we're there, you know how to like actually fully analyze something now. That's how you really get down to it. You're going to get to your inner child every single time you answer one of these questions. If you analyze it, if you really get down to it, and I really want you to like genuinely think about it and actually write these things down, because it helps a ton. It helps a ton to process, to understand, to just look and feel differently about yourself and your life, so that you can take in that power that you already have, and you can really realize that, oh, I can use it and I can do things with it. I can change my circumstances. I can do whatever I want to do with it. There are so many people in this world who are left with so little perceived opportunity, but they still find opportunity. They still go, and there's opportunity somewhere. It comes out of the sky, even because they believe that it's there. And this is where like it gets into like the manifestation sort of thing. But really, I feel like the fact that that trend has sort of taken off has kind of degraded the point of it, which usually happens with trends. But I think the point of the word manifestation is to realize that, okay, when a ship has a manifest just is just a list of items that they say are on board. That's all a manifest is, a list of items that they say are on board that they're able to produce, that they can give you once they land where they are. This is everything that's on the ship. This is everything I have. And that's really all it is. I don't think people understand you don't even really have to be delusional. You don't have to be delulu. You don't have to go into this. What's, sir? I'm doing something. Yeah, you don't have to be delusional. You don't have to do anything specific. You don't, well, not specific. Let me not go there. You do have to start actually honing into yourself. But it's not about pretending something is there that isn't. It's about realizing something that already is there, because it's about, I'm trying to figure out the best way to like explain this portion, because I feel like the way that people talk about manifestation is very delusional. It's very wild, it's very weird, it's very off. But if you just think about it as, this is what I say is on board for the journey of my life. This is what I say is on board for the journey of my life. This is on board the ship of my journey on my life, right? This is the manifest. This is what's on the manifest. And if you take everything that's on the manifest, and if you look at every single item on the manifest, just because you're looking at the manifest, but you're outside of the ship, and you go, I don't see the the three cars that y'all said were on board. Where are they? But you're outside of the ship in the middle of the sea. You're like on one of the buoys. What are you doing on the buoy, first of all? Second of all, of course you don't see the three cars. You're not inside the ship. Like, what are you're not inside the ship yet. So you have to figure out, okay, how do I reframe my mind and reframe and restructure my life so that I place myself in the ship, so that I can see the whole list of the manifest physically in front of me instead of just the manifest. But the point is, you have to see the manifest, and then you're going to go up onto the ship. I'm sure there's some protocols you got to pass. You got to make sure that, you don't I don't there's things that you have to do first. There's steps you have to take first. It's not just, you're not outside of the ship looking at the paper manifest and then saying, "Oh my god, I know that there's three cars here. So when I look up on the parking lot, there's going to be the three cars." That's not manifestation. Manifestation and bringing about alignment in your life and really just bringing reality into your life is seeing a manifest, saying, okay, that's what's on board, got it, got it. Okay, if that's on board, then I need to make sure we have cable ties, because it needs to make sure, like, we need to hold that thing down, it needs to be secure. If this is on board, we have live animals on board. Okay, we need to make sure we have certain ventilation, certain ways to, get rid of waste. We need to make sure their food's in a secure area. Okay, I know what's on board. I know what I need to prepare. Let me go get all the items from the hardware store. Let me go prepare. Let me get all my things packed. Let me prepare to go get on the ship myself. And then once you're on the ship, you don't see everything all at once. You're not going to see everything all at once. You're going to see the one thing that's directly in front of you, just like it is with life. You make a manifestation for your life. Okay, this is like something I want. This is something I want. This is something I see. This is something I see. This is something I desire. This is something I desire. You make your manifestation list, and then most people, they look at it, and then they go like this is the paper, and then they pull the paper down and they're like, it's not there yet. And then they pull the paper up and they look at it, and then they look down and they're like, it's not there yet, because you're not preparing for what's on it, and you don't realize that you have to be somewhere else to go see it. You're not going to be exactly where you are to have it. You're going to be somewhere else, mentally, physically, spiritually. That is what the manifestation of life is. And I only bring it up because that's literally just, it is just how you live a life and make a plan and make a vision. That's literally all manifestation is. Manifestation has taken this word, like this word itself has taken a giant trajectory into being something different and something new and something that everybody should be getting into, which I think people should be getting into it, but I don't think it is what people think it is. And it's literally just seeing what you want for your life and going and getting it. That's all it is. I think using the word is very um it can be very confusing for some people, and I think it also isn't for everybody. And I also think that the word itself brings an air of curiosity and judgment from society. So I'm here, and most people would say that I'm talking about manifestation, which is in a way true, but I'm really just talking about embracing your power, making sure that you see what's in the future, and then you take the steps to get there. And then when you're there, you know which room to go into. You know what version of yourself it is that is there. That's all I'm here doing. Um, and most people will be like, well, that's manifestation. That's literally manifestation is just living your life and actually living a life that you chose to live. It's just another word for living the life that you chose to live. It's a word that was used to honestly bring separation to society. I don't think that it is something that um has to be used or has to have this value and this inherent thing to it. uh you're literally just choosing to live a life that you chose to do. That's all it is. And the processes, the things that people use to do it, there are different ways to do that. Some people focus on making sure that their spirit and energy is straight first. Some people make sure that their physical mind and physical body are straight first. Some people just do it all at once. Some people do things differently. Like people just do things differently. People use different words. We are a societal culture. We are a cultural society. Oh my God, wait, Jesus Christ. We are a society that needs other people. Like we need society. We need social behaviors. We're a social behavior group. But that doesn't mean everybody in the world is gonna use the same process to do something in their lives or to do what they want with their lives. Um, I think using the word manifestation is a part of a type of process. So for me, um, it does seem like that's what we're talking about, especially because we're going deep into our inner child, and a lot of manifestation content is about healing your inner child so that you can go into the new versions of yourself. But I'm just focusing on healing the inner child, going into the new versions of yourself so that you can be the new version of yourself. Like that's all we're here for. And it is in turn a manifestation of reality, a production of reality. It's a manufacturing of reality. Whatever you want to call it, you're creating your reality because you live and you have options and you have choices and you have power. Anytime you're doing anything, whether you don't do anything or not, you're still creating your reality. You still create what's going on around you because you've put yourself there. You've created this circumstance by putting yourself in this experience, barring, dangerous situations and whatnot. Um, yeah. Okay. Anything else? That was the words from my heart. Apparently they just came out. I didn't even know I was gonna do that. Next we do I usually do a full daily reset with y'all, but today I'm just gonna go over a daily affirmation, a daily gratitude, and we're gonna breathe, maybe meditate for a bit or something after. Let me just get through the daily gratitude and mantra. Okay. Or let me drink some more tea first, actually. I would like a little bit more. And it is cooler out here, like the wind is blowing. So my tea got cool. My tea got cool. The one in the cup didn't though. I'm not gonna pour it in the mug because I want it to stay warm. Oh my God, that's delicious. Ah, Jesus. Sweet spring Jesus. Have y'all seen the Dairy Girls? She ate that roll up. What is her name? I'm sorry. Let me mention this and then we'll go back to the daily reset because um she also plays in Bridgerton. You know her. Let me her name. Nicola Coughlan. Yeah, her. She ate that roll up. She said, "Sweet spring Jesus." I love that episode. They got locked in the not locked. They got tricked by these robbers at the convent where they go to school, and the robbers made they had them help them steal computers, and it was just a that was a hilarious scene. I think that was peak entertainment. That was a scene right there. That was a scene. It was well acted, well directed, everything about it. I knew it was gonna rain. I was like, what? Something's it's in the air. Okay. So for our daily mantra, let's do an affirmation. Affirmation. I think today's affirmation is gonna be either a bit longer or a bit repetitive. That's what I'm feeling. Hmm. I'm feeling something about choices. I make choices. I make choices that bring me lasting happiness or lasting peace or contentment. I make choices that bring me lasting peace. Not fleeting peace and then terror, not fleeting peace and then anxiety, not fleeting peace and then guilt, not fleeting peace and then shame. Because there are choices you make that do that. No, I make choices that bring me lasting peace. It may be uncomfortable right now, but it's going to be peaceful for the rest of my life after this 30 minutes. Or it may be uncomfortable right now, 2 weeks, but it's going to be peaceful for the rest of my life. Wherever the time period may be, this action, taking it, is going to make my life so much more peaceful. So, those are the actions that I am choosing to take. Okay, and then I'm going to say, these are the actions I choose to take. I choose to take, and then repeat it. I make choices that bring me lasting peace. These are the actions I choose to take. I make choices that bring me lasting peace. These are the actions I choose to take. I make choices that bring me lasting peace. These are the actions I choose to take. And that is my mantra for today. Yes, for today. Okay. Gratitude today. I'm very grateful for this is nice weather. I like it. hmm I love this type of weather. I'm getting excited about some things I see for myself. Um, the word is telling me to keep it to myself. Mm. It is a very beautiful day. I love the trees. They're so green. We have a lot of evergreens in this area. They're just so deeply green. Mm. I smell that candle. Okay. So I'm grateful for sight and the fact that I'm not colorblind because those trees are really beautiful. I am grateful for sight and the fact that I am not colorblind. I think I'm glad I'm human today too, because I could be a cat, and a cat is cool, but I'd be colorblind. I'd also be prey and predator anywhere. Mm, it's a little rough to be a cat, not colorblind. I am extremely grateful that I am human. And that's today. Some days I wish I was a bird usually I actually wish I'm an elephant or an orca. But today I'm glad I'm human. I am human. Yeah. Some sort of whale. Octopus live too short for me. Mm-mm. But they're very brilliant. Those deep sea squid are I don't want to be a squid. I know this is controversial, it makes me sound a little weird, but I think the squids are aliens because I don't see any other. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. I think the squids are the krakens. I think they're aliens, babe. Yeah. All right. We're done because now I'm just babbling a little bit and feel free to download the daily reset page. I won't be doing it with y'all today. I do want to keep my plans to myself today just so that I actually do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it today instead of making a whole agenda for the day when my deadline is for like Sunday. For me, I like to do deadlines of like I do two check in, like I do a week check in, and then I do a deadline for my end of the week. So that way, each day I can choose to work on, you know, whatever aspect of I, whatever aspect of my businesses or things that I want to work on throughout each time of the day. Instead of just saying, oh, I need this day to be all about Pampered and Luxed, or I need this day to be all about creating content. That wasn't working for me. It was making me very upset and just a little confused and a little frazzled. Now I work on like a multitude of tasks every day, a little bit at the time, or I work on one task for a very long time until it's finished and then move on to the next one. Just depends. But I always get it done. Now, there was a time where I would be like, okay, I've got everything ready, and I would let the fear stop me. But yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. As you can see, I'm here. And it was terrifying for me to decide to do this 30-day live challenge, especially because I decided for me, my 30-day challenge is the fact that I am going live to share the challenge, whether it be for as little as 10 minutes or up to an hour. Um, so that was one of the things I was a little scared about when I started this 30-day challenge. But I also, usually by day 3 of anything, any challenge, any experience, I always know if I'm going to finish it. And I knew I was going to finish this day 1, but definitely day 3, I was like, oh yeah, we're done. Like, this is done. Like, period. It's done. So yeah, I'm excited to go through the rest of this week with y'all. Feel free to continue to watch and rewatch if you need to. Days 1 through 7 will always be up for the most part, unless anything like happens or something, but I don't see that. And then once day 8 hits, I'm still going live, but I really won't have them continuously on the page. Like I'll be taking them down and just uploading some shorts for each individual day so that there's still the record of each day if you need to see it, but it won't be the full live interaction, live session, live, it won't be this. Uh yes. Anything else do I need? No, nothing else I need not. All right. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed and actually interacted and really answered and felt some things when you were answering day 5. Because day 5 is the first one where you're going to be like, oh my God, that's really how I feel about myself. We got some work to do. Or it's going to be like, oh, I'm actually, I'm pretty like great. Oh my God. You're going to start feeling some things today. So I'm really proud of you for getting this far, for doing it, for making this commitment and taking the time for yourself to complete this challenge. You are changing your life. You're making wonders. You're taking your power and you're using it, and you're actually realizing that it's yours to have and no one else can take it from you. You can only give it away. What who said that? Was it Eleanor Roosevelt? Did she say that? She said, "No man can take away your power, you can only give it away." I don't wanna misquote her. I should probably go study in London or something because they always remember the quotes. But yes, take your power, use it, do what you want in life and make it happen because it can. Yeah.